Everyone faces it sooner or later, a moment when willpower collapses and temptation feels stronger than anything else in the world. Maybe it's that late-night craving, the urge to text someone you shouldn't, or the sudden pull toward a habit you promised you'd leave behind. You feel powerless, almost as if something outside you has taken control. But what if those moments weren't just a sign of weakness but a call to awaken something deeper? If you stay with me, you'll uncover 13 secrets that can help you regain your power the next time temptation tries to take over. These aren't just tips, they're real tools inspired by Nietzsche's philosophy, designed to help you understand yourself, master your urges, and build a strength you can trust when it matters most. Most people believe temptation is a flaw, something to hate, fight, or feel ashamed of. But Nietzsche saw things differently. He believed temptation is a signal, not a curse. It's the part of you that wants something more, something that aches for experience, pleasure, or escape. The problem isn't feeling tempted. The problem is ignoring what the urge is really trying to show you. Next time you feel pulled by temptation, pause. Instead of judging yourself, ask, what am I really longing for? Is it comfort, excitement, distraction, or just to feel alive? This kind of honest curiosity is the first secret to self-mastery. Nietzsche wrote, "There is more wisdom in your body than in your deepest philosophy." That means your desires are messengers, not monsters. Listen to them without fear. It's easy to blame the world for our struggles. Fast food, endless notifications, all the ways modern life is designed to distract us. But Nietzsche believed the real battle is always within. Temptation isn't about the chocolate cake or the forbidden text. It's about the tension inside you, the part that craves and the part that wants control. This is why willpower alone isn't enough. If you only try to resist temptation by force, you'll eventually wear down. But if you can learn to understand your own mind, why you want what you want, and where your limits are, you begin to shift the fight. You become less of a victim and more of an observer, able to step back and make choices instead of reacting blindly. Nietzsche suggested that real freedom begins the moment you become conscious of your own impulses. Most people are sleepwalking through their temptations, acting on every urge without ever stopping to question it. But when you pause and simply notice the feeling, you break the spell. The next time you feel temptation, practice being the watcher. Say to yourself, I am noticing this urge, but I don't have to act on it. Observe how the feeling grows, peaks, and often fades away without you doing anything. The power isn't in killing the urge, it's in realizing you are separate from it. Nietzsche was famous for his rebellious spirit. He believed in questioning everything, especially the rules you inherit from others. Sometimes temptation grows stronger. The more you suppress it, the more you're told, don't do this. The more your mind wants to rebel. Instead of using all your energy to resist, try redirecting it. If you feel the urge to indulge in something that's not good for you, channel that rebellious energy into something creative or bold. Write, run, call someone, or change your environment. Use your defiance for growth instead of destruction. One of Nietzsche's deepest insights was about the shadow, the hidden parts of yourself you try to deny or avoid. Often, temptation is a sign that your shadow is trying to get your attention. The things you're most drawn to in secret are sometimes the very things you're ashamed to admit about yourself. If you want to break temptation's hold, you have to do shadow work. This means facing your darker desires without judgment, learning what they really want, and integrating them into your conscious life. One must have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star, Nietzsche wrote. Your shadow is not your enemy. It's a source of untapped power. Most people think self-control means saying no right away, but Nietzsche believed in playing with time. If you feel a strong urge, try delaying action for just a few minutes. Tell yourself, I'll wait 10 minutes and see how I feel. Often the urgency fades, and you're able to choose with a clearer mind. This small act of patience builds real strength. It proves you're not a prisoner of your impulses. Each time you delay, you weaken temptation's grip and build trust in your own will. The mind hates a vacuum. If you just try to cut out a temptation, it usually comes back stronger. But if you replace it with something meaningful, movement, music, creativity, real connection, you fill the space with something that feeds you in a deeper way. Nietzsche believed that life is about creating, not just avoiding. Ask yourself, what can I add to my day that makes temptation less attractive? The more you fill your life with things that matter, the less room there is for urges that only offer quick fixes. What you do in moments of temptation decides who you become. Stay with me, because the next secrets reveal the deeper psychological reasons why willpower fails and the hidden strength you can unlock when you understand yourself at the core. If you've ever fought a losing battle with temptation, share your biggest struggle below. And if you want more tools for real freedom, subscribe. This is only the beginning. Most people think the answer to temptation is simply more willpower. Grit your teeth, say no, and hope the urge goes away. But if you've ever tried to white-knuckle your way through an intense craving, you know it rarely works for long. Nietzsche saw willpower not as a constant state, but as something that gets tired, especially when we're stressed, lonely, or overwhelmed. He believed that true self-mastery means knowing when your energy is low and designing your life to help, not sabotage your success. That might mean changing your environment, avoiding triggers, or planning ahead so you're not making tough decisions at your weakest moments. Willpower is a tool, but it's not your entire toolbox. If you beat yourself up every time you fail, you're missing the bigger picture. Temptation isn't a test of your character, it's a signal to check what you really need. Are you tired, anxious, or bored? Are you hungry for connection or meaning? Each urge is a clue, and learning to interpret those clues is the beginning of real freedom. When temptation wins, most people react with shame. You tell yourself you're weak, lazy, or broken. But Nietzsche saw self-loathing as another trap, a way of keeping yourself stuck. The real power comes from self-compassion, the courage to forgive yourself, and the honesty to look at what really happened. Try this. When you give in to temptation, pause and ask, what was I really feeling? What did I need? Then treat yourself with the kindness you'd offer a friend. This isn't about making excuses. It's about growing wiser. Every slip is a lesson, not a verdict on your worth. Nietzsche wrote, "He who despises himself still respects himself as one who despises." Even in moments of self-hate, there is a longing for dignity. Give yourself that dignity. It's the foundation for lasting change. Your mind is built on stories about who you are, what you deserve, and what's possible for you. Temptation is often strongest when you're stuck in an old story, especially one that says, "I always mess up" or "I can't change." Nietzsche believed you could become the author of your own life by questioning those stories and daring to write new ones. When you notice an urge, listen for the story underneath. Is it telling you that comfort is all you'll ever get? That happiness is only for others? That you're doomed to repeat the past? Challenge those scripts. Write a new one. I am learning. I am changing. I am stronger than my old patterns. Change doesn't mean erasing the past. It means using what you've lived through to shape who you're becoming. Nietzsche saw daily rituals as a way to create order from chaos. When your life is structured with small, meaningful routines, temptation loses some of its power. Rituals ground you. They remind you of what matters. They make decision-making easier because you're not starting from zero every day. Try adding tiny rituals that support your goals. A morning walk before checking your phone, a set time to journal or reflect, or even a nightly pause to breathe deeply before bed. Each small act is a statement. I choose my life, not my cravings. Over time, these rituals become a source of strength, the invisible structure that supports you when your willpower fades. Nietzsche wrote about the importance of shaping your surroundings, not just your thoughts. If you keep sweets on your desk or your phone by your pillow, you're making it harder for your better self to win. Willpower is finite, but you can use your environment to make good choices easier and temptation less accessible. Notice where you fall into old habits. Can you move things around, change your routine, or make it harder to slip? Can you add reminders of your values, a quote, a photo, or a message from someone who believes in you? Your environment should be a friend to your future self. Temptation thrives in isolation. When you're alone with your struggles, it's easy to believe you're the only one who feels weak. But Nietzsche understood the importance of community, not just as comfort, but as a source of real strength. Share your challenges with someone you trust. Join a group or connect online with others who are working toward the same goals. Even a single honest conversation can make the weight of temptation lighter. You'll realize you're not alone, and you'll borrow courage from others when yours runs low. Don't underestimate the power of one supportive friend. Community isn't about being perfect together. It's about refusing to give up on each other even when things get messy. Nietzsche believed that struggle is not the enemy. It's the birthplace of meaning. Every time you face temptation, you have a chance to ask, what is this teaching me? Maybe it's patience, humility, or the reminder to care for yourself more deeply. Maybe it's simply proof that you're alive, still fighting, still growing. When you see temptation as a teacher, not just an enemy, you gain wisdom, not just willpower. You start to notice the patterns that trip you up and the strengths that help you through. Every battle leaves you a little wiser, a little stronger, and a little more awake to the kind of life you want to build. None of these secrets are about being perfect. They're about being real. They're about staying curious about your desires, honest about your limits, and compassionate with your struggles. Nietzsche's greatest insight was that the person you become is shaped not by your victories, but by the way you meet your failures. The next time temptation takes over, remember, you have tools, you have choices, and you have the power to turn struggle into strength. You're not fighting against yourself. You're learning to become more of who you're meant to be. Most people wish temptation would just disappear. But what if every urge, every craving, every moment you nearly give in is actually an invitation? An invitation to pause, to look deeper, and to learn what you really need, not just what you want in the moment. Nietzsche believed the struggles we face are the very places where our real growth begins. As he wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." When temptation strikes, don't just try to resist it. Ask yourself, what's the reason behind this urge? Are you feeling bored, lonely, sad, stressed, or simply hungry for meaning? The more honest you are with yourself, the more power you gain over the urge. Over time, you'll begin to notice patterns. Perhaps temptation is strongest when you feel powerless in other areas of your life, when you're tired, or after a disappointment. The goal isn't to hate these moments, but to use them. Each one can reveal a hidden part of you, a place that needs attention, care, or change. Temptation grows wildest when you're disconnected from yourself. If you move through your days on autopilot, rushing, pleasing others, or avoiding your feelings, old habits can easily sneak back in. But the moment you slow down and notice what's happening inside, you begin to take back control. Journaling, meditating, or simply sitting in silence can help you catch the early signs. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What happened today that stirred this urge? When you bring awareness to the surface, temptation loses its grip. It stops being a shadowy force you can't name and becomes a message you can listen to, learn from, and respond to with wisdom. Self-awareness isn't about judgment, it's about compassion. You become your own ally instead of your own enemy. You learn to forgive yourself and keep moving forward, no matter how many times you stumble. The healthiest people aren't those who never feel temptation, but those who fill their lives with purpose, challenge, and meaning, leaving less room for it to grow. You can do this by choosing activities, relationships, and goals that make you feel alive. When your time is filled with things that matter, quick fixes lose their appeal. If you find yourself drawn to shallow escapes, replace them with something fulfilling, a creative project, meaningful work, or deep connection with someone who understands. Build a life so engaging that temptation feels like an interruption rather than an escape. One of the most dangerous beliefs about temptation is thinking you must be perfect, that giving in means you've failed. Nietzsche rejected this idea. He believed that struggle, contradiction, and even falling down are all part of becoming stronger. You don't have to win every battle to grow. The real victory is in showing up again, learning each time, and refusing to shame yourself into giving up. Life isn't about erasing your flaws. It's about using them to fuel your journey forward. If you slip, don't start over from zero. Look at what happened, find the lesson, and keep going. Those who succeed aren't the ones who never struggle, but the ones who turn every setback into a new beginning. Nietzsche taught that what you do with pain, urges, and struggle is what makes life meaningful. When temptation is strong, it's a chance to ask deeper questions. What am I really searching for? What do I truly want to build? The moments you want to escape are often pointing to parts of your life that need healing, strength, or transformation. If you pay attention, temptation becomes your teacher, not your enemy, revealing where you hunger for real connection, adventure, or love. The more you meet these moments with honesty, the more alive and powerful you become. Meaning isn't given, it's created. Every time you respond to temptation with curiosity and courage, you shape your story. You prove to yourself that you're more than your impulses. You are someone who can learn, adapt, and write your own future. Every struggle you face and overcome gives you wisdom to share. Your experiences, both failures and victories, can be a light for someone else in the dark. Don't keep your growth to yourself. Share your story, even if it's messy, even if you're still learning. As Nietzsche wrote, become who you are. That means accepting every part of yourself, even the parts you wish would disappear. By speaking honestly about temptation, you break the silence and show others they're not alone. Create spaces online with friends or in your family, where talking about these struggles is normal, not shameful. The world needs more people willing to be real. When you share what you're going through, you help others grow stronger too. Temptation isn't the end of your story, it's the beginning of your next chapter. Every time you choose honesty over hiding, learning over shame, and growth over guilt, you become more powerful than the urge itself. You don't have to face this alone. You have tools, wisdom, and the ability to start fresh as many times as needed. The person you're becoming is shaped by these small, honest choices. So the next time temptation takes hold, remember you're not broken, you're not weak, you're human, and you're stronger than you realize. If this message gave you even one insight you needed, share your biggest RSA moment in the comments. And if you want more real guidance for living true to yourself, subscribe, because your transformation is only just beginning.